Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me for another new edition of Diecast Emporium. In today's video, we're going to take a look at not one, but three brand new 2022 1/34 scale releases from First Gear. Two of these are Chevrolet C65s, and the one on the bottom right is a GMC 6500. However, all of these are grain trucks with a corn load. These are all from the 1970s era, and they all have a MSRP of right around $80. You can pick these up from my friends at the Construction Diecast Store. Their link to where you can buy these on the website will be in the video's description right down here, so if you are interested in adding these to your collection, all you have to do is click on that link and it'll take you straight to where you can buy these on the website. The packaging for all of these models, with the exception of the SKU and the identifying barcodes, are identical. So we're just going to open. What do you think? What should we open? Let's open the top one just because it's easy. So, this is what the box looks like. You can see the model inside. First Gear 1/34 scale, ages 14 and up. Looking at the top shows you the simulated grain load that is in the back of, well, I would call this kind of sort of a stake bed, even though it's not. It looks like a stake bed. It's a grain truck. And on the side you have First Gear 1/34 scale, die-cast replica, absolutely nothing on the back. On the bottom, here's all of First Gear's social media platforms. Their contact information is over here. You can see their phone number, website, different social media. And then, obviously, the SKU number for this one is 10-4252, and of course this is the baby blue truck with the red bed, and this is one of the Chevrolet C65s. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed so that we can take a closer look at it. There are no twist ties associated with any of these models, which is so refreshing, and gets you off to a good start when you know that you don't have to deal with twist ties. Let's get this thing unboxed. It is housed in two plastic pull-apart formers. You can clearly see that. So that usually indicates that there are a couple tapes to cut, and in fact there are. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's quickly cut these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is so much more effective and less time-consuming than twist ties. Carefully lift it up. Be careful what you grab onto, because there may potentially be some fragile parts. And once you do that, your model is free from the package, and you are ready to take a closer look at it. Alright, let's continue the video with the dimensions. The weight for these trucks is around 3 pounds. The width, 3.5 inches. Height, just over 3 inches. And depth is about 9 inches. So, let's take a look at a Chevrolet and a GMC. The blue one is, of course, a example of the Chevy. So let's bring in the white and red one, which is the only GMC example out of the three. So in the frame, again, pretty much the same truck. But if you are a fan of this era of truck, even if you don't necessarily collect larger scale models, such as models in 1/34 scale, I gotta say, I gotta give credit to where it's due. These look spectacular. Even the choice of paints that they use look really, really good. Particularly this baby blue color. Just screams 1970s, early 1980s to me, at least. So, here's what the GMC looks like. A closer look of the front end. On this one, we will zoom in nice and tight. Here you can see the GMC logo. The square bumper that was synonymous with the C-Series on the Chevys, and obviously the 6500 series. Again, same truck, just a different badge. Interior, you have the brown or beige interior. Black wheels, black tires. Here's your grain bed. And other side, again, the only difference being the front of the cab and the front end. Okay. Let's focus on the blue one. I think that one shows up a bit better on camera. So there is the front end, the Chevrolet front end. You have your marker lights, your turn indicators, running lights. Your mirrors do have a silvered surface on it, but to me, it's just a silvered surface. It doesn't appear as though they are reflective. These wheels look a little bit better to me than the all-black ones do that are on the GMC. Here you can see they have the gray kind of beadlock on it with the black hubcap or the black rim. Chevy C65. The doors, to me at least, are inexcusable that they don't open, especially on a larger scale model, because it is so worthwhile to see the detail that is inside this truck. You can see that the seat actually has a seam, a different colored cream seam down the center of it that you would see in older trucks from the era. Obviously, you have your black tanks. This is what it looks like underneath. So there is some detail underneath. There you go. Moving along towards the back, you do have a little chute here. And I can't figure out how to get this darn thing to work. And because these are review samples, these are not my models, I'm not going to be too forceful with this and potentially break something. So, to me, it seems like this would open, but I have spent the better part of an hour trying to figure out how to get it open, and there's very little information on the internet at the time of this review as to how that works. So, long story short, if you get yours and you want to play around with it and maybe figure it out, be sure to include it in the comment section of this video so that other collectors know. On the right-hand side, again, pretty much the same thing. Also, something that is inexcusable for a model of this scale, and especially at this price point, no working steering, which very, very disappointing. It does roll, though, which you would expect from any rubber-tired vehicle, but I guess that's important to point out. Really, the only bit of obvious functionality is that the grain bed does dump. The height is good enough, at least for me. You can see that that's helped along by 2 hydraulic rams right here. You can see the cylinders sticking out of the cylinder jackets. That would lead me to believe that somewhere on here there should be, a chute is one thing, but I would think that this would swing open to one side or open conventionally like a dump truck. Again, I can't figure out where that would happen on these. There is a screw right here in this black that's hard to see. And then there are 2 additional screws here and here, which might hold the corn load inside the bed of these. So if you don't like the corn load, the simulated corn load seen here, potentially those screws might remove the corn load. Again, I am just speculating. I have no idea, but it might be something worth checking out if you add one of these to your collection. All right, that's the Chevy C65. We've already seen the white and red GMC. Let's bring in, very quickly here before we wrap up the video, the red and red Chevy C65. So you'll see all 3 examples that I have here. Of the 3, if I had to pick a favorite, you guys know my obsession with red on trucks. This absolutely would be my chosen version of the 3 that I have here. Again, the wheels are the chosen wheel of choice for me. Again, in comparison, I don't necessarily like the blacked out wheels, but some people do. Same detail. I think that this bed, that's plastic. Cab is definitely die-cast metal. There is actually a lot of plastic used on these models. Most of the interior is plastic. There's the front end, which again I think is one of the biggest highlights of these trucks. The casted front end of this era of truck is perfect. I could not really ask for much more, other than, of course, the doors to actually open. At least the driver's side door to open. It wouldn't really cost that much to tool that in the casting. But other than that, it kind of is what it is. And there you go. So let's wrap up this review with this. Overall, these trucks, I think, are something that was missing in 1/34 scale. I know a lot of farming collectors and even on-highway truck collectors were looking forward to this model. This is not something that I would typically collect, but I wanted to put this video out there so that you all could see that these are new releases for 2022. There is a second version of the GMC, which I think has a red cab. So it would be this truck with a red cab, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the bed is white. So it's basically this inverted. I don't have a sample of that here to show you, but as of the time that I'm filming this video, there are 4 versions that I am aware of. They all retail for about $80, I believe, give or take $1 here and there. And you can pick up all 4 of them, again, at the link provided below from the Construction Diecast Store, who, again, I have to thank. for sending these samples over for the video so that you guys can see that these are available now and that they are out there. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know what you think of these in the comments section below. Until next time, take care, be well. I will see you in the next review.